All right, then. But when you look at the current situation of these kids with disabilities, you realize that their rights or their full enjoyment to these freedoms is limited. Like I said earlier, they do not enjoy the full rights. They are kept away from the other counterparts. And the law is there, just like you say, the law is there and it's trying to measure the action that is happening, but still you realize that the situation does not change. Why? These are children who are with disabilities. In most cases they cannot raise their concerns to the authorities, and parents to these people are also undermined by the society. You find that they'll find it hard to also go raise the concerns they have about their children, so you find that these children are still left out in one way or the other. The other thing you talked about, their right to education. I think most recently, as the schools were closed, the government found measures of providing education facilities for the rest of the children except the disabled children, like the children with special needs. There were lessons happening on televisions, lessons happening on radios. These children who are in quotes normal could access education. They could watch the lessons and keep on. They could use different platforms of the internet and access education. But think about the children who are blind or deaf. The government did not put anything in place for them. The government, I'm talking about the government because it was the government in the picture that provided the facilities for the other counterparts of these children. But these children, remember, they are kids with special needs. The rate at which they learn is slower than the rate at which these other children learn. And at the same time, I don't think they have that good memory. I think when you put them at a pause, they actually lose everything they had before. So I'm looking at this situation that the schools have been reopened. The other kids have been having support during the lockdown and they're going to continue with this education. And these other kids who are having special needs were not supported at all. And they are the ones who actually needed this support better. And now they're also rejoining school uh, to continue with the same syllabus or with the same curriculum, just like the others. So, what do you think about that situation, and what do you think the law has got to do with this?
Okay, I think on that point, uh, I would be wrong to say that nothing was done or has not been done at all to ensure that these people, this category of people, enjoys the same education, the same chances, despite the pandemic, like the normal ones. Yeah, it might be that some were left out, and it's because of the economy. It has come with an economic breakdown. For
Okay.
example, when you look at the blind, we all know that the blind need braille textbooks, for example, to ensure that they study the same way, the same notes, the same syllabus that the other normal people are actually also studying. But then we look at the challenge that we're having as a country.
Don't you think that the law or the government should look into a way of separating the curriculums these two categories of children go through in order to put their equality? Because someone who has gotten some weak spot doing the same assessment with the people that are considered to be normal throughout would be kind of an inequality. For instance, don't you think that taking these students who are having special needs through the same curriculum, like going through the primary school, the secondary school, and later join tertiary or universities, isn't fair? Just like the other counterparts are also doing the same, they go through the same education. Don't you think the government may be trying to put aside a fair category of education for these people. For example, identifying a certain way that they will still access and attain the same certificates and documents the other people are attaining, but in a way that also favors them.
Yeah, it would be ideal if it was done like that. But then, on the point of socialization, the point of enjoying the same rights that are actually provided for by the laws would be somehow untainted. So, take an example: if I had to go undergo a certain curriculum that the other person is not actually undergoing, that is the same as carrying me to another kind of what of class. You understand? And in that way, we are not actually helping, or we're not bridging the gap between the normal and the disabled. We are rather keeping them far apart. Because if let me say, if I'm handling a 16 subjects as a normal person, and you're proposing that this other person who is not normal handles around six, then that means that the other eight subjects or 17 are not going to be actually covered by the person who is disabled, and it's that is somehow disservice to them.
Um, look at look at a picture where uh, these people are having the same. Okay, they are all doing 16 subjects at a certain level, but they are having different, totally different strengths and different weaknesses. You realize that a child who is normal finds it easy to read, understand, and write the exams in regards to whatever was told to that very person. But this child with specific needs, for example, this child is either blind or deaf, will go through a lot to be able to have the same understanding with that person. Nevertheless, even bringing it out at the moment of examination and uh, consider, is it even a favorable situation for that person to note down whatever was told to him or her in the examinations for him to be able to access or to attain the same documents or rewards or awards that the other person who went through the whole situation smoothly. Like, isn't it kinda okay? It looks much more of an inequality. It's not that the gap that we are trying to bridge is being broken, but then uh, it's more about putting into consideration the different weaknesses and strengths and the conditions these two people face.
Yeah, um, it would be good that way. It would be seen good on that point of view. And trust me, the law is not redundant about seeing that these people are given the most comfortable life they need. It is working, but then the main problem is society. Because before the law is how I'm seeing someone, it's how you're seeing me, it's how I'm seeing you. So if even if the law comes out to say that this should be done, and yet on an individual level people are not doing it, then it's not going to work out. We see laws being broken each day that comes by. It's because people are now acting depending on their character, their emotions, their feelings, and not on what has been put to be followed. So it's now sensitization, as the call has been made by many organizations, UNICEF, UN itself, Parliament on several occasions, that the people change their attitudes towards certain things. And it's now the role of the people to act as called for, as pleaded for, that a change is going to be fundamentally seen.
All right. So I think that that's kind of trying to show us why Prince V Charity Initiative is in place. It's one of the organizations trying to reach out to that problem, trying to solve that challenge today. They create awareness on um, how the society should live or handle these people with disabilities or, in quotes, special needs.